Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Amy from Neurotic Mom Bakes, and I have the best recipe for you today. Probably one of my favorites, but I feel like I say that all the time. But this really is one of my favorites. I love gingerbread, ginger snaps, gingerbread cake. That's probably one of my favorite flavors. So we're going to do my gingerbread cookies. You can make these quickly. You don't have to freeze the dough. They are no spread. They are thick and soft and fluffy. Here in America, we love our cookies really soft. I know that elsewhere, they like the crispy ginger snap, the crispy texture, or other cookies, they like them crispy, but you gotta try these really soft cookies because I prefer them. They're delicious. So let's get started. I have my cookie cutters here. I'm gonna set that aside though, and we'll work on the dough. First thing you need is 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And let's see, 1/4 cup of white sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And we're going to cream this together until it's nice and light, fluffy. There we go, nice and light and fluffy. We're going to add 1 egg. And then I'm going to start measuring out 1/2 cup of molasses. Light or dark, it doesn't matter. Richer flavor, use the darker. Make sure to get all of that out. That's done. Okay. Dry ingredients. Oh, nope, I forgot my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. I always eyeball vanilla. Okay, now for the dry ingredients. Unlike my cakes, I'm not gonna combine all the dry ingredients and then put them in, because I'm going to show you a trick to get the perfect consistency, and it has to do with the amount of flour. Just depending on the humidity, the temperature of your kitchen, you may need to adjust the flour amount just a hair, but if you've combined them all together and you find that it's too sticky it's just gonna mess up the spice measurements. So we're going to add 3 cups of flour. I'm going to only add half that amount for now. And there's 1.5. So I'm gonna stop there, just add half the flour, and now I'm going to add all the rest of all my spices and salt, all that stuff. So we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 1.5 teaspoons of ginger. There's 1/2. There's 1. 1.5. 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. 1/2. 1.5. I'm gonna stop the dough at this point while I finish adding my spices. 1/2 teaspoon of cloves and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Once I've got everything else in, I'm gonna gradually add the flour, and it's going to be about 3 cups. But I'm gonna keep testing the consistency. You want the dough to be able, so you can handle it without it sticking to your fingers. But you also want it to hold together its shape. And I will show you how to adjust that. So we have 1.5 cups of flour in there. This makes 2. That's 2.5. And get that all mixed together and just kind of see where my dough is at. I'm also at this point going to scrape it down, just to make sure I have all that stuff off the bottom. It will start to pull together as it gets to the right consistency. I have another 1/2 cup of flour to add, but I'm gonna add it very gradually. Let's test it. Pretty good. Still maybe a little sticky. I think that would stick to your countertop. I'm just gonna add maybe another tablespoon. Okay, that's just about right. Still a little bit sticky, so if I see how it sticks like that, we don't want that. I am gonna flour my surface, but that's still just a tiny bit too sticky for me. I'm just gonna scrape these sides. Add a little more flour. And it'll kind of start to clean the bowl. It'll pull all the dough away from the sides of the bowl and form a ball. I think that is just about right. Now, if you find you've added too much flour, don't panic. Your dough is not ruined. Add a tablespoon of milk at a time to get it the right consistency. So if it's really crumbly and not holding together, just a tablespoon, mix it up, check it, add another tablespoon if you need to. And we're good. That is perfect. So I ended up using not quite 3 cups of flour, maybe a tablespoon or 2 less. And we are ready to roll out our dough. Okay, like I said, the beautiful thing about this dough is it's no spread. You can put those cookies really close together and get a lot on one pan. Generous amount of flour. I like to press it down and then flip it over. Make sure we get lots of, so we don't want it to stick. There we go. Okay, start rolling. If you want a crispier cookie where it's just crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside, then roll your dough thinner. But if you want that thick, fluffy, soft cookie, I would say that's 3/8 of an inch, a little bit more than a quarter, a little bit less than a half. And then I will just get my cookie cutters. Let's do 2 mittens. Circles. I love to have a small cookie cutter on hand because it gets all those places that you can't fit any other size. And these are just like little snacks. And then you can also fit them in between the bigger cookies on the tray. Let's do a candy cane. I'm gonna do the tree today, I don't think, because I'm giving these away to lots of neighbors. Now, the trick to getting these not to spread, put them in your freezer for a minimum of 20 minutes. You can go longer, but minimum 20 minutes, and I guarantee they will not spread. See how close together I'm putting these? I love it because I can get like 2 full cookie sheets, stick them in my ovens and be done. Okay, let's roll this out again. Try not to handle it too much, just as little as possible. Here's a trick I learned. These cake benches, cake scrapers are really good at scraping that stuff off. Do 1 tree. You don't need to wrap these or anything. They just go in your freezer 20 minutes, then in your oven at 375 degrees. Watch them. It's about 8 to 11 minutes. As soon as the center looks no longer wet, or just a tiny, tiny bit wet in the center, because it'll continue to cook once you take them out, then get them out. It's hard to tell by color because they're already brown. So you have to go by, the centers will be they'll look kind of wet, and as soon as they stop looking wet, just take them out right away. Okay, I'll put these in the freezer and then I'll put them in the oven. All right, here they are, my finished gingerbread cookies. They are thick and really soft to bite into. You can decorate them with royal icing, you can decorate with them with buttercream, you can eat them plain. They're delicious however you look at it. So let me know what you think of this recipe. Give it a try, give me some feedback, and if you want to see more recipes and tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel.